Hello guys, welcome back. So in the previous tutorial, we found an issue where the email was not being sent properly, right? The email was not being sent whenever we were closing the case, correct? So I was able to debug the issue, and what I found out was the variable that we have declared, we have only made it available for input. Input means only you can store the values in this variable. It's not available for output. But to the email alert, we are passing in that particular variable as the record ID, right? So in the email alert, we are passing in that variable. So it's available for output as well. But since you have not marked the variable as available for output, it did not go through and we were not able to get that email. So what I'm going to do is, I have already done that, but if you haven't done it, go ahead and make sure that particular variable is also available for the output purpose as well. So here I went case ID var. So I went ahead and clicked on it, edit, and I checked the available for output checkbox as well, because in the previous tutorial, I have only made it available for input because we were storing the ID of that case in that variable. But to the email alert, we are passing in that variable as well. So it has also been used outside the flow. So for output purposes, right? So we are passing in this variable. So that's why we need to check that checkbox that this variable is also available for output. Now, if I go ahead and make sure you save it, you have to go ahead and activate the flow again because you have made the change. So now this is there. And now what I've said is, in the decision, whenever the case is closed, only in that scenario, this email alert will be sent. So let's go ahead and test this thing. So I'm going to go back to my cases and let's open up a case which is currently not in closed status. Okay, so let me go ahead and pull up a case which is not in closed. So these two are the cases which is not in closed. So I'm going to choose the one which is in escalated status, and this is the case. So let me store the ID of this case. I have the notepad open, and current value of the status is escalated. So I'm going to go ahead and set the status here as escalated. And what is the other thing we have? The account is United Oil, and then the priority is low. Okay, so now the account is United Oil and the priority is low. Okay, so these are the existing values on this case. So I'm going to update the case now. So I'm going to go ahead and hit the update case. I'm going to close this case. So I'm going to go ahead and move closed, and the account, I'm going to change it to Gen Point. So I'm going to go ahead and use this, and the priority is going to be high. So this is the update case. Now I'm going to go ahead and hit the next button, and then congratulations, the case has been updated successfully. So now if I go back, I should receive an email. Sometimes it doesn't come in your main box, but it'll come in your junk. And you can see here it has come and it says, Dear Edna Frank. So if you look back at your record, this was the record, right? This was the record that we updated. Now the name on this record, the contact name is Edna Frank. So this is where the email is going to, because in our email template, we have mentioned to give it to contact name, right? We have successfully closed your case with the number, and this is the case number. You can see this is the number of the case, 0001016. So that is the case number. We hope we have addressed it in a timely manner and blah, blah, blah. So this is the email that you have received. Now this email will not come if you have updated the case to something else besides the closed status. Now currently this is in closed status. Now I'm going to make it to, let's say we pull up a different one, okay, which is already in the close. So let's go ahead and pick up a different one. This is the case number 1000, and it goes to Rose Gonzalez, okay. Now in this case, since it's already in closed, we are going to do an update case, and we are going to make it to working, and then the account I'm going to choose as Edge Communication. Priority is going to be high. Now next, so we are moved it to working status. So now if I go back to the case, this was the case, right? 1000. Now it has moved to working status. The priority is high and the name is this person. Now in this case, I have not received the email. You can see here, the email has not come through. This is the last email was from Edna Frank, which was the previous one, 1016. Now there is no email from this 1000 case number, right? Because we only said that the email should only be sent whenever the case has been closed, not in every other scenario. Only in the scenario where the case has been closed, that is the time when you have to send the email. Now if you go back and refresh this and update the case to closed, that's when the email would be sent. So now if I go back here and we go ahead and do the update, and this time I'm going to change it to closed, and the account, you can change it to the same one, and then this is the medium priority, and then hit the next here. The case has been updated successfully. Now in this case, you are going to get another email. So just wait. Yep, you got an email, and this is for Rose Gonzalez, and this is basically for this case number. So this email was not there before. The email came because you have updated the case status to closed here. So the only change we did from the previous one was we have not marked this variable for the output purpose. So one more time, I'm repeating here, available for input and available for output. Initially, this checkbox was not checked. It would have worked fine, but we needed this to pass the value of the record ID, right? So here in the email alert, we are using it. We are using it for output purposes. So that's why we have to check that checkbox. And that is the reason the email was not being sent earlier. So all we had to do was we have to make that variable available for input as well as for output purposes, because we are storing the ID that has been passed through that button, and for output purposes because we are passing the ID over to our email alert. So with this, our debug has been successful. We were able to track down what the issue was, and this is the flow that we have created. So in the next tutorial, I'm going to do a couple more flow requirements, and we're going to go ahead and work on it until we are full-fledged, I think, flow masters. We are going to do lots and lots of examples and real-time scenarios. I hope you guys are enjoying it, and if you are, please, I will request you guys to post a comment and feedback on the course, because that motivates me. And if you can give me a 5-star rating with a comment, because comment is something that I always look forward to. If sometimes you post nice comments about the course, I really like it, and it makes me feel good, and it motivates me to create more and more such kind of courses. So keep the love flowing, guys, and I'm going to see you in the next tutorial. Thank you so much.